Hey everybody, welcome to a very special episode of Horror Face Off Villains.
It's Michael Myers of the Halloween series versus Jason Voorhees of Friday the 13th.
It's two of the most legendary killers in film history, and finally, they do battle to the death.
Horror Face Off is next.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Horror Face Off. This is a special episode. It's Villains. We have two of the most iconic killers in the history of film. Michael Myers, who debuted in 1978, and Jason, who debuted in 1980. So the categories are different to start this episode off. We'll actually play them out as we go along, but we've modified them to be episode friendly. On the panel today, we have joining us once again, Megan. How you doing, Megan?
Oh, I'm peachy.
Great.
Ready to die.
Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. From the Kings of Horror, one of the most popular YouTube horror pages, we have Patrick.
Hey,
What's going
ready
on?
to get going.
First time to Horror Face Off, and I haven't spoken to her in a couple of years, so I'm pumped to have her on the show. We have Alana Evans. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm awesome. Thank you for having me. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
And finally, I've said it many times, but let's go there again. The Joan Rivers of Horror Face Off. We have Mia joining us.
And Jason.
And Jason in the background. All right, cool. And we all have Alana, do you want to show us your top? Nice. And finally, my awesome co-host joining us today, ready to hand out some slashing deaths. Leighanne is here.
Hi.
And Leighanne is she's representing both sides. We can see a Halloween shirt. Look at there we go. And a Jason necklace. So that's awesome. We're all representing as much as we can. Don't worry, Megan, you're still horror. She's got the scream. It's okay. It's all good. All right.
So I just need a new hoodie, guys.
Yeah.
Go find me.
Anybody want to provide her a hoodie? It doesn't matter. I'm not wearing anything, so we're all good. Okay, so we're ready to start the show. Everybody knows the rules. It's basically the same as any other horror face-off. They have 40 seconds to make their points, pick a winner in each category. Just the categories are different. At the end, Leighanne will announce the winner. This is Michael Myers versus Jason Voorhees. And to start us off, we will go to Mia. And for Mia, first category, we are going to get, I know you're kind of scared, aren't you? We are going to give you backstory.
Okay, so for backstory, Jason was born deformed. He was picked on, and you can kind of understand why he turned into the killer that he did. I don't know if it's speculated or they have said that it was, but did he watch his mom get her head chopped off? I don't know, but you feel bad for him. Michael doesn't really have a true explanation unless you want to go to the Curse of Thorn theory, which I do kind of like. I have the Curse of Thorn tattooed on my finger. But because there's no sad backstory and you don't really feel anything for him, I'm gonna throw to Michael just because he's just true evil.
All right. She made it without dying. All right, Patrick, you're up.
For backstory, I think I'm gonna have to go with Jason. I think the fact that he drowned as a kid, and that yet he's come back, in part 2 and stuff. I think that adds a layer of supernatural and mystique to it that makes it appealing. Whereas backstory is pretty black and white with Michael. He murdered his sister as a kid. That's your backstory. He was institutionalized, so it's not really much interesting there. So I got to go with Jason for the mystique factor.
All right. Alana, you got the hang of it? You think you're good to go?
I'm so ready. Let's do it.
Okay.
So we all know Jason's backstory. We've watched every movie. We've got Mom in the first one. We have Jason coming back in the second one. I think this story really points to the sexuality, the trouble that the, cabins and your people working at the camp, the camp counselors. There's so much focus on that I like the backstory. But then when you go to Michael, with Michael, we've seen so many different versions of Michael. We get Michael in the beginning with the very first Halloween, but then later on, we get a Rob Zombie version of Michael where we see Michael as a child. And then you get more. So
you got killed. No, this is what we like. We love killing people on this show.
I'm gonna die.
And the first time you're at it, we kill you, so we're pretty happy. However, I think you made a good point for both, but we never got your answer. So who you giving it to?
Jason.
Okay.
Had to give Michael some love though.
Nice. All right, Megan, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, go.
Actually, I was going to talk about the Rob Zombie reboot also because I love that it did give Michael a backstory. We had to go through a lot of kind of reboots to get one, but I think that the point of him was that he was this ominous evil. And I like that Jason's is kind of like a cautionary tale and everything kind of ties together with him. From the mother wanting revenge to him kind of coming for revenge, even though after he kills everybody, I think he just likes blood at that point. So I'm going to give it to Jason because of the way that they did his story, but Rob Zombie's version, it's a good one.
Ooh, she must have been close to 40 seconds, no?
39.
Ah, damn it. All right, it's okay. We'll get you later. All right, so I got a little bit of a secret that I'm going to unveil now. Otherwise, we can't proceed with the show. But for the first time this season, I'm actually going to participate. I'm pumped about this episode. So I'm going to go. And this is cool because Leighanne finally gets a chance to try and kill me. I tend to ramble. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm going to try and cheat death as best I can. Leighanne, you could start me off.
All right, Jason, go.
I'm going to give it to Friday the 13th. Jason. Done. No. Okay. All right. I won't. Okay. Okay. Is it still going? Okay. I'm giving it to Jason. I think his backstory is pretty elaborate. I think it's pretty underrated. A mother's losing a child is like, it's terrible. And then a child seeing mom get killed is, and kudos to Michael. It's a different origin story. More sinister, more just dark and ominous, but I'm going to give it to Jason because I think there was a little bit of depth there. No death for me.
36 seconds. You're so close.
And I kind of stalled too. All right. Okay, so awesome. So everybody's got the hang of this one now, right? Okay. So we're going to go to appearance. And for appearance, we're going to start off with Patrick.
Okay, appearance. I think I'm going to go with Jason on appearance just because I think there's you think of Jason's costumes, his appearance and stuff, and there's so many different variations, ones that stick with you, ones that are memorable. For the most part, you just think of Michael as the one in the white mask and blue suit and stuff, and you usually just think of how he looked in the first film, not necessarily part 5 or part 7.
Oh, got to kill Patrick. 2 deaths. All right, nice job, Leighanne. Okay, Mia, we'll do you next.
Okay, so I'm gonna analyze from their mask down first, and if it was that, I would give it to Jason because he's like always tattered up. He's got a little bit of something different. Michael pretty much always has the mechanic suit on, except I really love in was it Halloween 4 when he's all bandaged up? That's a cool Michael. But from mask up, I love Sackhead Jason, and I think Michael's masks in the bulk of the middle of the movies really are terrible. But basing it off like what I think is scarier and I like better is Michael's mask. So overall, I'm going to give it to Michael just because I like his mask and what you see most of.
Oh, well, nice. Sorry, Mia.
I had a lot I wanted to get in there.
Yeah, but you got it in there, right? So I think you did well. All right. So we're gonna move up to Alana for her opinion on this one. And you're up.
Keeping it under 40. I love that Mia talks about Sackhead Jason. Jason sets this whole other vibe of style through to and on, where the mask is always changing, like whether he's taken, knives to the head or he's been electrocuted. The masks did look different in each one. Where I feel like Michael's is pretty basic. It's the same really bad hair. There's nothing exciting to it. So Jason all the way for me. And you couldn't kill me.
It's funny how everybody learns and then they start taunting. Okay, we'll get you again. All right, Megan, you ready?
This was a really tough one because they both just have such iconic images, but I think that Michael's is a little bit bland. I like that it's an expressionless mask to kind of go with the fact that like he is like void of emotion and expression. I think it's really fitting for him. But I like the evolution of Jason's and the tattered up look. And like Alana said, with the difference with the mask and how he's evolved from first movie, not there, second movie, Sackhead, and then we just have the iconic mask. Jason.
Okay. All right, Leighanne. I
5 seconds.
wish you luck on me. You might get me here. Okay. So to me, this one is Jason, but I love Jason part 3 and 4. I like the clean bald head and the and just kind of like more of the realistic where the blood actually kind of really pops on him. But I love part 7. He had an awesome look in part 7. Overall, I just think he went off the deep end in Jason X in space, but at the end of the day, I think that his look was just really, really cool. Michael Myers, yes, he had a lot of bad masks, but even if you're taking the good one, a mechanic suit is kind of weird when you look back on it. But anyways, I'm going to go with Jason. Sorry, Leighanne. I apologize. I'm sorry. You'll get me. I rushed the mechanic thing. But anyways, all right. So far, well, actually, everybody's died but me. Okay. I'm not going to be that way. I'm not going to make my answers intentionally short just to cheat death. But I am going to try and make it tricky for you. Okay, so now we move on to style, and you know what? I'll go first for this one. I'll set the tone. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So for style, they kind of mirror each other. These are both like the strong, silent type. One's a little bit more creepy and stocky, and I kind of like that. And the other one's a little bit more brute force. At the end of the day, it's that by those characteristics alone, it's a toss up. But at the end of the day, I kind of like the aggression of Jason that Michael does not have. Sometimes it could be a little stoic and boring. Jason. All right, I know I didn't die, so let's throw to Patrick.
Okay. Style, I gotta go with Michael on this one because I appreciate the cat and mouse game he plays with his victims, how he stealthily gets around and gets in position to take them out in a moment's time. Jason's just he's it's really robot like. He sees, he kills. There's not much to it. So yeah, I gotta go with Michael.
All right, Mia.
Okay, so they're both very stealthy, but Michael's a little bit more stealthy. And I think I really like how he sometimes how Patrick was saying, plays with his victims, like when he's Bob the Ghost. That's hilarious. But I think I'm gonna give to Jason more because I do like the aggression. I like that there's just more things that he does that's creepier to me. Like I think it's in 6, whenever he pushes her through the window and then pulls her back out really quick, and it's just really scary. Just how he doesn't give a fuck. He's not going to be super whatever. He's doing it. So Jason.
All right. Okay, Alana, you're up.
I feel like Michael is a very smooth killer. He appears. He fear wise, I'm definitely more intimidated. But with Jason, it's the strength. It's really the brute force that you mentioned earlier that comes along with it. But the way he always just appears, like that's the joke even in the video game, is that he is instantly just there. And so yeah, I gotta give it to Jason. I think he brings more style.
All right. Okay. And some a video game mention, which is pretty cool. All right, Megan, you're last.
So, like Jason does have the brute force. He kind of silently stalks, and he is more. I think he improvises more. Um, Michael, he's stealthy, he's quiet, he's methodical, and like Patrick said, he's got that cat and mouse game, and he uses like psychological torment and kind of the fear of the unknown of him. So I'm going to give it to Michael.
Nice.
I like that psychological torment.
Cool. All right, so we're through another category and we move on to weapons. So for this one, we're going to start off with Mia.
Okay, so the knife and the machete are very similar, so I'm going to expand upon that. And they both use like a crazy arsenal of weapons when you break it down, which I watched a lot of YouTube videos that did break it all down. But it comes down to it, when neither of them have a weapon, they can still use their hands. Michael will strangle somebody, and Jason will literally punch somebody's head off. Decapitation by a punch. So because of the similarities, when you break it down to that little tiny detail, I'm going to give it to Jason.
All right. Alana, what do you have to say?
I do like that Jason is a bit of a MacGyver when it comes to death. Like pushing people through the windows, as Mia mentioned, punching out their heads, snapping necks. It excites me. Like it makes me like, fuck, Jason's kind of hot. And then Michael's just way too quiet. And it's a knife or it's turning the water boiling hot in the hospital. So it's Jason for me.
All right. Hey, maybe I should have added another category to this. I should put sexiness in there. I didn't think I would have had to, but maybe.
Leave it to us.
Yeah.
Future episodes.
All right, Patrick, you're up.
Yeah, I gotta go with Jason on this one because there's a lot more memorable weapons and ways that he killed someone. So, with the tree cutter in 7 and using your bare hands to crush so an eye pops out or completely decapitating someone, just far more, I think better use of your surroundings than Michael for sure.
All right. Hey, Megan. Go for it.
Oh, I also have to give it to Jason, to be honest with you, because he just improvises so much. Like their weapon style is so similar, their stalkingness is so similar, but like let's just talk about he literally beat somebody in a sleeping bag against a tree. Like he just doesn't care. He like Alana said, he MacGyvers the hell out of whatever situation, and so I give it to Jason.
All right. All right. So with that, I'll talk. And multiple shoutouts to MacGyver on this show. This is great. Okay, so I think I don't want to make it a sweep, but I got to give this to Jason. I think throughout the movies he's done, like even the Jason X where he froze the head, and then that alone was top notch. So he had a little bit more fun with his, and he also had a bigger body count throughout most of the years. It was just slash and kill, and so he had a lot of time to strut his stuff. So I'm gonna give it to Jason. Sorry, Michael. Sorry, Leighanne.
Yes, sorry to me. I had 1 second before I could kill you.
Really?
I'm so excited.
I'm sorry.
I was.
Staving off death. All right, so that's another category gone. So now we move on to, I believe it is strength. So I want to clarify in this, physical strength, mental strength, intellect, whatever you want. This is all encompassing. And for this, we will start off with, speaking of intellect, Patrick.
Yeah, strength. I'm going with what's the most brute force amongst the two, and obviously I got to go with Jason in that regard. I mean, his body count speaks to that strength, to that just relentless nature and dedicated nature to achieve your goal. In his case, it's to kill. So, Michael has some intellect about him, for sure, but I think in the business of killing, brute force strength is what his strength is based off of. So, Jason.
I like that. In the business of killing. I like that. And I know who else likes that, and we'll go to her next. Alana, you're up.
That's terrible. It's terrible. Of course, it's got to be Jason. He is the strongest person. And when you think about some of the actors that have portrayed Jason, like Kane Hodder is my all-time favorite. That man is scary. And he brings so much just in his persona. And it relates to the character of Jason. And so you just watch Jason gliding through with all of this power and machismo. So yeah, it's Jason all day.
Jason all day. All right, Megan.
I've been back and forth about this one, and this is going to be the one I probably die at, because obviously brute force, supernatural presence, pretty much indestructible is Jason. But I also kind of see where, like, Michael is pretty, like, relentless, and, like, he has this uncanny ability to survive. I don't know if it's, like, due to his brain, whatever. I know there was, like, the whole cult situation, too. But something about the fact that he is relentless with, other than the cult situation that was added later on, he's relentless in his own sense. And so I sort of kind of want to give it to him.
Yeah.
Nice. You predicted it, though.
Predicted it. I knew, because this was when I was really back and forth, because obviously Jason's like a default perfect choice. But let's not disregard that, like, Michael is pretty relentless and he doesn't have.
Wait. Are you still carrying on after your 40 seconds? I think kill her again, Leighanne.
All right.
Okay, no, it's all good. It's all good. Okay, so I will go, and
What's your answer?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I'll go against the grain. I'll give it to Michael.
All right. Okay. As this was playing out, I was trying to find ways to give this to Michael. I just can't, though. Kind of like what Patrick was saying, right? Like, I guess just in the word strength, you just picture, like, I mean, I feel like Jason could, like, punch down a tree, and I don't feel like Michael can. So for that analogy alone, I'm going to give it to Jason. Sorry, Leighanne, and Mia, you are up.
I'm so happy everyone went before me on this one, because I was like, what the hell am I going to say for this one? But I'm going to echo what everybody else is saying. I know you could, like, factor in supernatural things for this one, and if you're going to, it still would be Jason, because there's no real, like, nobody ever confirms that Michael has anything supernatural, but in the video game, he can teleport, which is confirming that he can do supernatural things. And yeah, I would love to make a case for Michael, but I really can't. It's got to be Jason.
All right. Well, Michael's in tough there. There's no doubt. Let's see if he can get it back in this category. I think he stands a chance. This is scariness, and for scariness, we will start off with Alana.
I'm going against everything, and I have to say that Michael actually scares me more. When you go to haunted houses and they have the music playing and the TV set up, and then he pops out, I'm done. With Jason, again, I'm more attracted to him, and I more idolize him as this ruthless killer. So yeah, I'm way more afraid of Michael, which is weird.
All right. Okay, Patrick.
Yeah, I agree. I got to go with Michael as well. Just the way he maneuvers, and he is sneaky, and he is in the shadows, and his mask, which is terrifying. All of it combined just adds to this more creepy something that's actually going to scare me versus a Jason type. So definitely got to give it to Michael on this one.
All right. Mia.
Well, I think anybody that watches this show and knows me knows I'm going to pick Michael, because I talk about all the time how he's tormented my dreams to this day at 27 years old. I don't ever remember watching a Friday the 13th movie at any age and being afraid of Jason, but to this day I'm still afraid while I watch any Halloween. I'm like, don't like him. Don't like him. So, in the words of Judy Byers, Michael!
Awesome. That's a tough act to follow, Megan. Are you gonna die again, or are we gonna get clear of the time zone here?
All right, I would have to say that Michael creeps me out the most, because the fear is often described as like the unknown, and you have no idea what his motives are. You have no idea how he chooses his victims, and he just kind of appears and stalks and cat and mouse and psychological I don't know. He takes the cake for me, to be honest with you, and he's relentless. Like, when he's focused, he's focused.
Focus. I like it. All right. All right, that's me. You ready, Leighanne?
Go.
Start me off. You have a chance on this one, I think. Start.
All right. Do it.
All right. So I'm going to give this one to Michael. And part two was the one that got me when I was a kid. I remember watching that chase scene in the hospital where he was like slowly, methodically walking up. And as a kid, it felt like it was like a 2-hour long scene. And I was like dying. And that kind of stuck with me. There was never that moment in any of the Friday the 13th. Even though it was like one of the first horror films I ever watched, it never got me in that regard. And kudos to like the early Halloweens that really utilized lighting with that face and that mask and made it awesome. But I'm gonna have to give it to Michael. I tried.
No, you have a timer going.
No, I don't. What was my time?
39.34.
Wow. Okay.
Maybe like 2 more words from you.
I'll throw you a ball.
Join us in the afterlife, man. Come on. We have cookies.
Awesome. Okay. Okay, so this one's tricky. And I usually don't say too much about each category, but this is the movie. This is the movies, the library of films. Now obviously Halloween has had some reboots going on, so this could go off in any kind of direction you choose. But ultimately, you're looking at the body of work that these two have put out, and you're gonna pick a winner. All right. So for this one, got a weird sound there. For this one, we are going to start off with Alana.
This one is really tough because Jason, while he evolves as a character through the movies, and the movies go on and then they start to get creative, like Jason versus Freddy, which I only just watched this weekend, it can get really out there, or you feel like it's the same version of killing over and over again. With Michael, we got reboot after reboot. More of the story continues in that way, and I feel it's way more connected sometimes. But again, I love the creativity behind the Friday the 13th series, so it's definitely Jason.
All right.
I was close, huh, Leighanne?
You're close. Right
Close.
there.
Close. But regardless, we got you. We got you in the beginning. If nothing else, we got you. All right. I'm going to go to Patrick next. Oh, you're on mute. We'll start the 40 again.
Okay, for this one, I think I'm going to go with quality over quantity. I got to go with Halloween. I think those are much more a lot of them are a lot more of a complete film, a more solid film than a lot of the Friday films. If you watch 1 through 4, especially, back to back to back, it can be a drag during some sequences or seem very repetitive. And with Halloween, you basically have a choose your own adventure based on what timeline you want to follow. So that I got to go with Halloween.
All right. I'll go next and get ready, Leanna. I have a good feeling about this one.
You said that the last 3 times. I don't even want to hear lies anymore.
All right. Sorry. Okay. So I have actually the exact opposite to say about Patrick. What Patrick said. I think like 1 through 4 of Friday the 13th are like 4 of the best movies in any series out there. I think I watch all 4, and then honorable mention to 6. I think Halloween is a mess. I think part 1 is good. I think part 2 is good. I think part 4 is good, and I think after that, for me, part 3 would be next, and he doesn't even have Michael Myers in it. So I think Halloween kind of falls off the rails huge, and I think Friday the 13th is just more consistent, even if it is the same all the time. I tried Friday, Jason. I tried. I tried. What was
right
I?
When you said I try, you hit 40 seconds. So I was like, you wrapped it up right when I said it.
Okay, want to do it again?
Yeah, just spit it all over.
Okay, I thought I was gonna go long, and I guess I'm paranoid. I get it now. I get it what it's like to be a guest on this show. So
I love the fear-inducing I can cause. This is nice.
So it's intimidating woman. All right. I like it though. Okay, Megan, you're up.
Oh God, I've got no clue. I'm a little rusty on some of the other films because it's been so long. But like part of me wants to go with Michael because I like that they dive more into his back history, but they're not, from what I remember, all technically canon. And they kind of start making a little bit of a mess of the storyline, where at least Jason stays consistent throughout. So I think I'm going to go with Jason.
All right.
I know I don't have much to contribute there. I'm just like, man, I just remember the Halloween series went crazy all over.
All good. Point made. And for the last opinion of this round, we throw to Mia.
Okay, I'm going to leave with my answer. I'm going to pick the Halloween series. Friday 5 doesn't have Jason in it, so like, how would you even vote for that series? But I will agree with Jason. I feel like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 are like some of the best. I love them, and I'll put them on in the background all the time. They're my comfort movies. But I also do that with Halloween, and I can do that with any single Halloween minus Halloween Ends. That movie doesn't exist to me at all. But I really love the Rob Zombie Halloweens. I really like Halloween 2018. It's probably in one of my top 10. And I just prefer to watch any of the movies in that franchise versus Friday.
Die, Mia. Okay, I just want to take one exception with what you said. You said Jason wasn't in part 5. Well,
right.
Michael wasn't in part 3.
I don't count that. I don't know why I don't count that. I feel like that's not a Halloween.
Okay, all right.
Totally different storyline. Friday 5 was still a Friday the 13th movie with like the,
Yeah, he was in some visions. Tommy Jarvis was having visions of the actual Jason. So
it was still like a Friday movie, whereas like it was a different universe. It was a totally different universe because they had Halloween playing on the TV, which proves that it wasn't even in the same timeline or universe. So it's not a Halloween movie.
Mia's getting fired up. We're getting her fired
see, that's
up.
what I mean, is they have so many different timelines in Halloween that it gets a little bit confusing.
It's a mess, totally a mess. But yeah, I mean, I like them.
And they're talking about rebooting it again, but we won't go there. All right. We are at the final category of the night. And for this one, we are going with icon status, the legacy factor. Which one leaves a bigger mark in the world of horror? And this is a big one. So for this, we will start off with Patrick.
Icon status. To me, it's a no-brainer. It's Michael. When you think of horror, most people think of Halloween. You think of Halloween, you think of Michael. You think of Halloween over Friday. And, Michael paved the way and opened the floodgates for tons of the 80s and all the slashers that came out then. So I definitely would say Michael has had the bigger impact in horror than Jason.
Bold statement. He came out and said, "This is it." All right. Now we'll move to Alana.
Hey, what I just want to know first is Mia holding a. Okay, girl, I thought you were holding a candle. You're holding a candle for a vigil, and I was like, what happened? This is now my 40 seconds. Icon status.
No.
For me, it's Jason all day. It's Jason all day. It's Jason all day. Yes, his mask, it's evolved, but he's amazing, and his character and the whole nine. For me, it's Jason. That's what we think about when we go camping. It's Jason, it's Jason, it's Jason. And Jason, we're not just at Halloween. It's every Friday the 13th all year long. So that's me. There we go.
You know what's great about her answer is I could edit it in and splice it into referring me because I'm Jason. So thanks, Alana.
New show promo.
Yep. I love it.
Do it.
All right, so I'm going to go with Jason. I think that just the hockey mask itself is just iconic beyond almost any other horror symbol. That could be argued, but that's just my opinion. I also think that we're a little bit biased with Michael these days because he's really the only guy who's come out with films in the last 15 years. So there's been a lot of Michael hype, and Jason's kind of been, and Freddy, and in the backdrop. So I think I'm going to give it to Jason. I think he just growing up in the 80s, it was Jason.
Yeah. I got it.
Yes.
It's because I love you so much. I rambled.
Yeah, that's fine.
Dead. All right. Okay. So for the next guest, we go to Megan. Since you're unfrozen, let's have at it.
Yay! Hopefully I didn't freeze weird. I'm also going to go with Jason because he is just such an iconic, recognizable character. And I mean, I've been seeing more like fan-made films lately with him. Like I just saw Never Hike Alone 2. And if you haven't seen it, you should definitely look it up. It's on YouTube and it's a fan-made film for him. And it's done so well, but it just shows how much he resonates within the horror community. So I'm going to go with him.
Further to my point, right? These days, all we can get are fan-made Friday the 13th. But at least some of them are really good. When you hear fan-made, you're thinking like, it's some kid with a camcorder, but no, they're really, really good production. All right, Mia, you are closing the show with your almighty opinion. Have at it.
Okay, so to me, I personally think they're the same amount of icon status. I know I can't have a tie, so I'm going to break it down to the details. I'm going to pick Michael because he's been an icon. He's been around longer. His movie came out sooner because I think 2 and the first Friday came out around the same time. And they also claim that Michael is like the first slasher. I like to say that Black Christmas and Texas Chainsaw has that on that, but that's a whole other argument for another day. So Friday also wanted to copy Halloween for the same amount of success. So they created an icon by trying to imitate another icon. Another reason I'm picking Michael. The end.
What a way to go. What a way to end the show. We kill Mia. Halfway through, I was like, she's dying. Because she's not stopping. So I knew you were gonna die. All right. So while Leighanne tallies up the votes, that's the end of the debate between Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees. So are we ready, Leighanne?
We're ready.
All right.
So last time we had a first on our last show, and this is kind of a first for this one. This one was a sweep. This was not a close call. You guys had a definite opinion on this one, and you all definitely had an opinion on Jason. He swept it under the rug with a 26-14 win over Michael.
Wow. I'm a little surprised. I thought this would be a coin flip. Well, I guess, it is what it is. It was a tough matchup. I'm sure even though the score wasn't close, there was a lot of debate going on in our heads. But at the end of the day, the student beat the teacher, if you want to say. If you rip them off, Jason wins. So that brings to an end this special episode of Horror Face Off. I'd like to thank Patrick, Megan, Alana, and Mia. Of course, my beautiful co-host, Leighanne, for killing everybody so happily with glee in her eyes.
Pleasure.
Nice. From Horror Face Off, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you to Deadly Grounds for supporting the show. My editor, Tanya Gianelli. We'll see you on the next episode.